Today we're talking all about free, quick knitting gift ideas that you can make for this upcoming holiday season. Thank you Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform where creatives can stand out with their online presence. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Knee Knits. My name is Amy and here I talk about all things knitting, and today we're talking all about gift knitting ideas. It's that time of the year where everyone is thinking about gifting, and if you're a crafter, you might have an interest in making something handmade for your loved ones. So I wanted to round up a few patterns that I found that I thought would be helpful if you're looking for some inspiration for what to make. Some criteria I was looking for this video. I wanted every pattern to be free. I haven't done that before, a completely free pattern roundup, and the focus of each of these patterns is that they're relatively quick. Some of them are going to be quicker than others, either because they are a small finished project themselves or the yarn is very bulky and you can knit things up pretty quickly. So I have 10 patterns that I'll share. Everything will be linked below, and I'll also talk about some yarn ideas I might have as well. I thought I would put on a festive red neck scarf for the video today. If you're curious what the pattern is, this is the La Lu Shawl by Sari Nordland. It is unfortunately not a free pattern, but definitely a good gift idea as well. I knit this out of Sanus Garn Sunday and Sanus Garn Tin Silk Mohair, both in the color Poppy, which is this beautiful bright red color. And it might be hard to see, but it has this really beautiful cable and lace patterning on it. So without further ado, let's get into the pattern ideas. The first pattern is called Cloudburst by Arian Gray. These are a pair of fingerless mittens knit in a sport weight or fingering weight yarn, and they are mostly stockinette but feature a simple lace pattern that goes along the back of the hand. They are available in one size. The finished circumference is 6.8 inches or 17 centimeters. The recommended needle size for the fingering weight yarn is a 3mm or US 2.5. Fingerless gloves are a great gift idea. They're so practical and usable in today's age. We're always on our phones and needing access to type or look something up online. For the recommended yarn in this pattern, it's actually a discontinued yarn. It was Rauma Finnel PT2, which was a sport weight 100% Norwegian wool, but you can easily sub anything of a sport or fingering weight. I would definitely recommend something that has a bit of softness like alpaca, or if you have the budget for it, you could go for cashmere to be a little bit more luxurious. I think they would make a great gift, and you could even opt out to not do the lace pattern on here and just have a really nice pair of stockinette fingerless mittens. To make the single pair of fingerless gloves, you only need 40 grams of yarn or about 140 meters, so definitely a great stash buster as well. Next up is the Tromsø Hoodie by Sisu Knitwear. This is a balaclava, and balaclavas have definitely been on trend for the past few years. A really practical piece of headwear to keep you very warm during the winter, and it also gives you some neck coverage. So it's kind of like a combo of hat and scarf and the best of both worlds if you live in a cold climate. This pattern is knit at a super bulky gauge, so it will knit up super quickly. The recommended needle size is a 6mm or a US 10, and the yarn recommendation that they use were 2 strands of bulky weight yarn held together. They use Sanus Garn Coast held with Sanus Garn Borset Alpaca, both really fluffy, really soft yarns that would make a really squishy, cozy gift. If I were to knit this, I would definitely stick with the fluffy yarns. I really like the finished effect it has in this balaclava. They use 100 grams of each type of yarn, so 200 grams total. You could easily sub in Drops Air or Knit Picks Wonder Fluff and have a really cozy winter gift knit. Before we get into the next pattern idea, I do want to take a few moments to thank the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. If you're just starting out or trying to grow your brand, a Squarespace website makes it really easy to grow. With my Squarespace website, I use it mainly as a blog website where I post blog articles that contain similar content to my YouTube videos here. I'm able to link my social media accounts like my Instagram and YouTube channel directly to the site, and I can sell digital products like knitting patterns. With Squarespace's design intelligence, you can be empowered to build a beautiful, more personalized website tailored to your unique needs. So if you're interested in making your own Squarespace site, head to the link below to start your free trial today. If you use the code NEKNITS, you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and now we'll get back to the pattern ideas. The next pattern is a pair of socks called Slow Morning DK by Camille Heng. I love DK weight socks as a gift knit because they knit up super quickly, and I also like the combination of doing a ribbed sock in addition to it being DK, because ribbing allows the sock to stretch and really mold to the recipient's foot, and it gives you some freedom to not have the most perfectly fitting socks, but they will still feel like they fit well. This pattern is available both as a free download and as a step-by-step video tutorial for free in both English and French. They are knit cuff down, feature 2x2 ribbing, and are available in 3 sizes. The recommended needle size for these socks is 3mm or a US 2.5, and they do feature a short row heel. I would recommend knitting with a single strand of DK weight yarn. If you have a superwash yarn that has some nylon in it, that would work great, or holding together 2 strands of fingering weight sock yarn would also work really well for this project. The next pattern idea are actually 2 patterns, but I'm counting them as one set, and they are the Tiilda Hat and Mittens by Ines Sang. This is a really cute hat pattern. It features simple cables and is knit from the cuff to the brim, definitely beginner friendly, and it's knit in a bulky weight yarn using 5mm needles or US 8. Bulky weight hats I feel like are a great gift idea just because they knit up so quickly. You could easily get this done in 1 weekend or less, and you can choose to add a yarn pom-pom on top or go for a faux fur pom-pom for an extra luxurious look. The suggested yarn for this hat pattern is Daramore's Vintage Chunky, which is a blend of merino and acrylic. I would also recommend Barocco Vintage Chunky, has a huge color selection and is really soft and really easy to knit with. Or you could also go for Lion Brand Hue and Me, is another bulky or chunky weight yarn that's a blend of wool and acrylic. The matching mittens, the Tiilda mittens, feature the same yarn suggestion, a very similar cable knitting motif, and the same needle size, a 5mm. These mittens are available in one size to fit a hand circumference ranging from 7 to 7.5 inches, which is 18 to 19 centimeters. I don't really know exactly what that translates to, but I'm assuming with mittens that would fit most adults. The next pattern is a really fun one and a great stash buster. These are the Folksy Hot Pads, which is really capitalizing on a trend in knitting and quilting lately with heirloom quilt stars and motifs. These Folksy Hot Pads are knit using double knitting, so they are completely reversible, and I think would be a great use as like a little coaster on someone's desk, or you could use it as an actual hot pad in the kitchen. The pattern is by Shelly Can, and it comes in 2 sizes, either a 9-inch square or a 7.5-inch square, so that's either 23 centimeter square or a 19 centimeter square. The suggested yarn is Cascade 2020, a worsted weight, so you can easily dig in your stash for any worsted weight yarn would work well for this pattern. The pattern includes a chart for 2 different types of star motifs. This is the large motif here, and this is a free download, so I think it's okay for me to share quickly here on the screen, and this is for the smaller size. I think they call it a medium size hot pad. Quickly flipping through the projects here on Ravelry, a lot of people chose to use their own motifs, so if you have some sort of color work library, or you can just look up a bunch of different color work motifs that you can apply to the stitch count here. It is double knit, and I personally have never done double knitting with 2 different colors, but I think if you are an experienced knitter, it shouldn't be too difficult to pick up and learn in this small square project. The next pattern idea is called the Scrap Bag, and it's by Annabelle Chan. This looks like a great project to use in addition to another gift you might be gifting if you're giving something small but still want to add something that is handmade. The Scrap Bag I think is really cute to put your gift in or to just accompany a different item. This pattern comes in 3 different bag sizes, small, medium, large, and the recommended gauge is a fingering weight. It looks like for the sample photo they used a fingering weight wool held with a lace weight silk mohair, but it looks like this project, because it's mostly stockinette, really adaptable to any sort of yarn gauge that you might have in stash. This seems like another blank canvas pattern where you could really apply a bunch of different things to it if you want to make it more exciting, like adding a colorwork motif, adding a fabric lining, and I feel like the drawstrings make this look really polished, whether you use knit I-cord drawstrings or actual ribbon. I think you have a lot of flexibility with making this really personal for the gift recipient. The next pattern idea is going back to basics with a classic ribbed hat. I feel like a classic ribbed hat is a great gift for anyone of any age. It's just a staple, especially you live in a cold climate like I do. I feel like everyone is always in need of a good, solid, basic beanie. So this pattern is by Caitlin Barthold, and it's available for free on her blog, or you can choose to pay for an ad-free printable pattern. This is available in 5 sizes ranging from baby through adult large, so definitely a gift that you can knit for any sort of recipient. And the yarn used is originally lovely Lana, which is an Aran weight yarn, and an Aran weight weight knit is definitely something that can be knit up super quickly, definitely in a day or a weekend, depending on how much effort you put into it. The recommended needle size is a 5.5 millimeter or a US 9, and this is knit from the bottom up, so you start knitting in the round and then you do decreases for the top of the crown. It's knit in 1x1 ribbing, and I feel like has a very polished looking crown shaping, and definitely customizable with the different colors you can use or the different yarns. I think if you're not sure what to gift someone this year and they know you're a knitter, I think they would really appreciate a hand knit wool hat. Definitely something to keep them extra warm this winter. The next pattern idea I have is a pretty unique one, and actually it's a very new pattern that just came out this week, and this is the Cotswold Sheepskin by Alexandra Tavel of Two of Wands. This I think is a really chic looking home accessory. The pattern shares that you can drape it over a chair, you can use it as a rug in the bedroom. I feel like there's a lot of different applications, and it uses a really unique yarn to get the finished faux fur look. This pattern is available for free on her blog, or you can choose to purchase a kit or just purchase the pattern where you'll get the ad-free PDF printable version. This is a jumbo weight knit, and the yarn used is Shaggy Chic by Lion Brand, which is this jumbo weight faux fur yarn that comes in several different colors, including a range of neutrals or some pops of color if you're into that as well. It's knit on 19 millimeter needles, which is a US 35, so definitely huge needles, something that can be knit super quickly and probably less than a day. It's all garter stitch and just uses increases and decreases to get the shape of the sheepskin. This is definitely, you can just knit as is and gift it, or if you want to elevate it a bit, you can definitely purchase a rug backing or some sort of mat to attach to the back of it just to make it a little bit more durable. If you're interested in this pattern and are also a crocheter, there is a sister pattern that creates a very similar looking finished object but is crocheted instead. Although from my experience, I do both crafts, and I find that knitting with this super fuzzy yarn where it's really hard to see the stitches is a little bit easier than crocheting, but if you're up for the challenge, you can check out the crochet pattern as well. All right, we have two patterns left, and they are both small scarves similar to the one that I'm wearing today, but they are free patterns. The first is the knitting bag Neckerchief, which is by Nicholas Heed. This is a very blank canvas pattern that you can choose to knit in any yarn and any needle size. There's actually no recommended yarn or gauge or needle size at all, so just grab whatever you're in the mood to knit with for your gift and cast on. It features garter stitch and eyelets, and the yarn used in the sample photo was Santa's Garn Lena, which is a linen cotton yarn, great for the summer, but if you're knitting for someone in a colder climate, you definitely could go for something woolier, maybe some mohair, some alpaca to make a really cozy neck scarf. The last pattern I have to share today is called Mara by Audrey Borrego, and this is also a neck scarf, and it's knit from tip to tip, featuring all over texture. You got some eyelets, some knit and pearls, some garter ridges, and I-cord borders. The suggested yarn is a fingering weight yarn. Pearl Soho linen quill was used in one of the samples shown here, and the suggested needle size is 3.5 millimeters. Of course, with the scarf, kind of like the previous pattern, you have a lot of flexibility with yarn weight and needle size, so just cast on with whatever feels right. You're not really limited to gauge and fit here. The pattern does include instructions on how to use any amount of yarn. Because it is knit from one tip to the other, you can knit the first half, weigh your yarn, and once you reach the midpoint of your yarn ball, you can start decreasing for the second half. This is a great pattern depending on how much time you have left to gift knit. If you want to make something quick and small, you definitely can, or if you have a lot of time and want to make a really grand scarf, maybe more of a shawl size, you definitely could do that with this pattern as well. And that wraps up all 10 free gift knitting pattern ideas. I hope you were able to find some inspiration in today's video. Everything that I mentioned will be linked below in the description box, including the patterns and the yarn ideas and kits if they are available. If you're looking for more knitting gift pattern ideas, I do have 2 other videos that I've posted in previous years for the holiday season, so feel free to check those out as well. Thank you for watching today. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.